Hello and welcome to Filling in the Gaps. I'm Darren and this is the Steam Winter Sale 2023. I'm going to do what I did last time and try to get through as many games as possible in the shortest time possible. I've got 32 games for you today to get through, so let's just not even waste any time, let's just get cracking. Starting off in the 10% range, we've got World of Horror. World of Horror is a really unique black and white, very, very strange, very, very difficult game to get around, a very, very difficult game to get your head around at the beginning. It's overly complicated, but it's got this amazing, creepy story that just draws you in once you get past the learning curve. The difficulty curve on this game is astronomical at the start, but what it opens up is these tales of ultimate creepiness. It's a really good horror game. It's almost like a choose your own adventure book in which you go through, make choices. Those choices usually have terrible consequences, but when you find the way that works and you get through it, it's such a good game, very complicated, rich horror game. World of Horror is $20 at base. It has gone for $13 in the past, but the 13% discount that it's on now puts it at $17.39. So it has been better in the past. So you might want to wait for a sale again in the future. Also in the 10% range is Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3, unless you've been living under a rock, Baldur's Gate 3 is like one of the greatest games released this year. It's won tons of awards. It's now 10% off. It's not much. The base price is $60. Now it's going for $54. So it's better than nothing. Next one that is 10% off is Project Gunship. This is actually an early access title which didn't have any money off in the past, but finally it's gone for a little 10% sale, so that brings it from $15 down to $11.99. It's basically Airplane Mission from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game, where you just like rain. What was it called? Death from Above. I think the level was called. It looks neat. I'm interested in picking it up, but I wasn't really interested in paying $15 for it. So, I don't know. I might wait for it to go a little bit further than that, though. Next one on the 10% range is Escape from Lavender Island. It's another one of those fantastic Jeremy Coulard games. Its base is $10. It has gone for $9 in the past. But today, it's on $15. Sorry, today, it's going for $8.45. That puts it at a 15% sale. Jeremy Coulard makes some really independent, trippy, weird, wild games that are really out there, but they're always a lot of fun to play and interact with. There's always a lot of stuff going on in his games. Thoroughly recommended. The next one at 15% off is the DLC for Cyberpunk 2077, The Phantom Liberty. Finally, Cyberpunk has straightened itself out and is actually a very, very playable, very enjoyable game now. This is the first time the DLC is going on sale, and so its base price is $30, and now it's going for a nice $22.50. Okay, the next category is the 20% range. We've got a fair few in this. To be honest, I've noticed that this Steam sale, there's not many massive sales, like deep sales, but there are a lot of good games in the 20% range and the 50% range we'll see later. So there are a lot of new games that are getting a fair chunk off in the 20% range. The first one is Chants of Sennaar. Chants of Sennaar is a really wonderful game. It is a language-based game that you are thrown into this mysterious world where everybody speaks different languages from you, and you have to work out what they're saying. You fill out you fill out like a kind of a picture dictionary with what you think the words mean, and if you hit them three, or if you get three in a row correct, then they get locked in, and then you learn that language. It reminds me a lot of the Obra Dinn in a sense, like the Return to the Obra Dinn, with the kind of the guess three to continue. It's a really good game. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. It's $20 at base. It has gone for $15.39. That's the historic low, but at the moment it's $15.99 in the sale. And that's what I'm talking about as well with the sale prices. It seems that a lot of them are not really breaking historic lows. It seems that they're all getting decent discounts, but they're never going as deep as they have been in the past, which is kind of disappointing, to be honest. But that might just be my library. It might just be the fact that I've picked up a lot of the games that I already wanted to own anyway, and so now I'm just kind of waiting for these ones to hit historic lows. But yeah, it doesn't seem like that kind of sale this time. It seems like a very kind of constrained sale where nothing's really gone bananas like in the old days. There are a few 90% sales ones that I do recommend, and we'll get to them, and they are like off the hook kind of really good deals. But we'll get to those when we get to those. Next is Talos Principle 2. Holy moly. Talos Principle 2 is great. I don't think it's as good as the Talos Principle 1. I'm going to just... maybe that's a hot take, I don't know. But it's a really good game. It's really good, but it's definitely more casual, and it's definitely made more accessible for everybody. It's not as hardcore as the Talos Principle 1, which fans of the original might be disappointed in that. But that's not to say that there are not some serious challenges in this game. Tons of puzzles. For such a good price, it's only $30 at base, and with the 20% sale, that takes it to $23.99. It may seem like a tired old trope of you wake up on an abandoned planet with amnesia, but the Invincible soon reveals itself, and you get kind of into the story quite quickly. The Invincible is a walking sim, kind of / puzzle game. It's a bit light in the puzzles, more heavy on the walking sim aspect and the storyline. It's not for everybody. You do walk very, very, very slowly, even with a shift sprint option. But I'm really enjoying the story so far. I'm hoping that they throw some kind of curveballs in there, because I think I know what's going on. But I'm definitely interested in finding out more. And so I haven't finished it yet, but so far my expedition to the unknown planets has been really, really fun. The Invincible is $30 at base, and it's now going for $24 at the 20% discount mark. Next up is El Paso Elsewhere. It's basically an homage to the Max Payne games, the original Max Payne games, where a lot of bullet time, jumping and shooting, and just general mayhem and chaos. It's $20 at base, and it's now going for $16. Another new game that has just come out recently, or recently-ish, is Kona II. Kona II came out, and it is $30 at base. It did go for $24 in the past, but now it's going for a nice new historic low of $22.49, so it's a couple of bucks cheaper than it was recently in the past. I loved the first Kona. I've not played the second Kona yet, full disclosure. But I'm definitely looking. This is one of the ones that I'm looking to pick up myself. Another one I'm looking to pick up myself is Dredge. Dredge looks amazing. I've seen some people stream Dredge, and that is what kind of intrigued me, because at first glance it's just a fishing game, but it's so much more than a fishing game. It's a horror fishing game, which gets really, really dark, really, really weird, and it comes out of left field. The asking price for Dredge is $25. It has gone for $19 in the past, but now it's hit its historic low at the 25% mark, off for $18.74. Another game I'm so excited to pick up is Cocoon. Cocoon is pretty new. This isn't really a Steam sale price. This is more of a launch price for the game, a launch sale. Cocoon is made by one of the people who was part of the Playdead team who made Limbo and Inside. I am desperate to play this because it looks really, really amazing, and I'm a huge fan of Limbo, Inside. Somerville, not so much, but Somerville was made from the other wing of the two developers when they made the split. So this is coming from the other developer, and this is their efforts at their own solo studio stuff. So I'm really looking forward to playing this. It's got lots of good reviews. It's very highly regarded, and I can't wait to play it, to be honest. Cocoon is $25. It's now $20. Nice, even $5 off, 20% sale. The next one is Viewfinder. Viewfinder is also another indie $25 game. Viewfinder is a really nice puzzle game where you have a Polaroid camera, you take pictures of stuff, and then you develop that picture, and then you can place it in the landscape in order to advance through the puzzles. Looks really, really interesting, something different, something a little bit like maybe Superliminal, where you mess around with perspective and things like that in order to solve puzzles. I really enjoyed Superliminal. I'm sure I will enjoy Viewfinder. Viewfinder, $25 at base. It's got a 25% discount. That puts it at $18.74. Okay, we advance to the 30% category. There's not really much in the 30% category. I'm afraid. There's only one title, and that's Iron Lung. And the only reason Iron Lung is in there is because Iron Lung is getting a little kind of indie movie made about it. The concept for Iron Lung is the universe is dead, or almost dead. All the stars have gone out, and there's a planet of blood, and prisoners are hermetically sealed into submarines and then forced into the blood oceans to explore and discover stuff. Are you intrigued? Well, I was, and I played it, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's a short game. It doesn't take very long to finish, but it's a good experience. It's a really interesting, creepy, very lonely experience. They really capture the kind of loneliness of being submerged below this ocean of blood. And there's a movie coming out about it, so I just thought I'd bring it to you guys' attention. Maybe you can check it out if you're into kind of claustrophobic horror. Iron Lung is $8 at base. It was $4.79, but right now on the sale it's a disappointing only 36% sale. That'll get you the game at $6.38 at the moment. Alright, we're moving into the 40% range now. Underground Blossom, the latest from the Rusty Lake developers. It's not really as hardcore as the predecessors. It feels more like an interlude, which the Rusty Lake team, they seem to just be like, they're just on a roll, you know, they're just churning out game after game after game. I'm using the word churning out, but that's not in a derogatory way. They're not like just like churning out trash. They're developing and putting out solid content every year, it feels like. And so Underground Blossom does feel a bit kind of short. It does feel a little bit pedestrian in a way, in a sense. It is quite easy. But it feels like we're leading up to something. I'm looking forward to a 2024 release of their next game. Underground Blossom is $5 at base. It has gone in the past for $3.34, but at the moment it's 44% discount. Will give you it for $2.79, which is a historic low. Nice. Another horror game that I really like the look of because it looks so different and unique is Notebook Entries Volume 1. It's a bunch of different stories that you play through. Some are kind of like almost like VHS style horror, and they're just something different. They don't really rely on the jump scares that much. Solid kind of, it's a solid kind of something different in the horror genre. Notebook Entries Volume 1 is only $5 at base. It has gone for a historic low of $2.50 in the past, but at the moment you can pick it up for $2.99. And the next one is Midnight Fight Express. I got this in Humble recently. It's $20 at base. You can pick it up now for $12 in the 40% discount range. It's a good fluid beat 'em up, kind of isometric beat 'em up where you just run through environments and just batter the hell out of people. It's really a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun playing Midnight Fight Express. Okay, now we're moving into the 50% range. We've got Resident Evil 4 Remake. Resident Evil 4 Remake is probably one of the best Resident Evil games, period. It's an amazing remake. It's $60 at base, and it's now going for $30, which is pretty good. Solid. There's a lot of gameplay in Resident Evil 4. There's a few more games in this list though. Not all horror. Here we go. Before Your Eyes. Before Your Eyes is 50% off. It's $10 at base. It has gone in the past for $3.39. At the moment, you can pick it up for $4.99. Before Your Eyes is a very unique kind of storytelling game that you advance the screens by blinking. You have to play it with a camera, so that sounds a bit weird. I'm pretty sure though you can opt not to use a camera and you can just like click through it with your mouse. But the way that happens is time will move forward if you blink your eyes. It may sound like a bit of a gimmick, but it makes sense in the game. And I won't spoil anything about the story because the story is really the only thing that the game has going for it. There's not really a lot of mechanics to the game other than find what else to blink on to advance the time in that zone. But the story is deep and it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a really good story. Next one in the 50% range, like I said before, Cyberpunk 2077 has finally got rid of most of its bugs. It's now entirely playable and is actually a lot of fun to play. It's seen a real resurgence of players, especially since the DLC has come out. It's 50% off. Base price $60, now $30. I just wish that I hadn't done that stupid pre-order. Next is Deliver Us Mars. This is like made by the people who made Deliver Us the Moon. Deliver Us Mars was $30 at base. It has gone in the past for $15, but in this sale, it's now going for a historic low of $13.49. That's a 50%. That's a 55% discount. And if it's more of the same of Deliver Us the Moon, I'm more than happy to play this game because I really enjoyed Deliver Us the Moon. So this is one that's on my radar. Another one that's on my radar that I want to pick up. I'm not sure I'll get it at the 50%, even though it's $40 at base and $20 at the moment. I'd still like to see it go for maybe 75 because I've got a bad feeling I'm going to suck at it, and that is Sifu. Sifu is a game that you just do kung fu and beat up people, but every time you die, you don't die, but you kind of age. And so it's a really interesting concept, but I know the game is quite hard because you have to master parrying and combos and dodging and blocking and that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how I will be at that game, so I'm going to wait for it to drop a little bit more, I think. But if you are interested in picking it up, now might be a good time because it's, like I said, it's half price. Another game that's half price and is also a historic low for the game is Oxenfree 2. I am so psyched to jump back into the story of Oxenfree. It's a game that we've talked about on the podcast before. I do not own Oxenfree 2, but it does have, I think it's very positive reviews on Steam. I'm very interested to see what happens in the next episode of this story of this unique island and its history. I'm a big fan of the first game, so yeah, Oxenfree 2, 50% off right now. Okay, we're getting into the biscuits. We're getting into the big discounts now. 60%. I've only got one in this range, and that's Happy Game. Happy Game. So 60% off. Happy Game. $13 at base. It has gone for $4.59 in the past, but now it's going for $4.46. There's a 65% discount. That's the historic low for Happy Game. Happy Game is done by the guys who did Chuchel, which I also adore. I love Chuchel. Happy Game is Chuchel, but dark, very dark horror Chuchel. But it's a lot of fun, and it's quite a long game. So there's a lot of things that you can do in it. There's a lot of levels to get through, a lot of puzzles to solve. But yeah, it's dark. Okay, 70% off. Resident Evil 2 Remake, $40 at base, now going for $9.99. That's 75% off. Resident Evil 2, I've played through, I've done Claire's run, I've done Leon's run. I've definitely got my money's worth out of that game. It is a good game. It's a very good remake. It's popular for a reason. It's been a lot of fun playing it and going back. There's a lot of love been put into the Raccoon City Police Department, which you can fully explore again. It's got some twists in it. They've added some new stuff. You probably already know because there was a big meme made about it a few years ago. But yeah, it's actually, I waited because I'm cheap as well, so I waited until it dropped to a very, very low price. And I was glad to pick it up and play it because it's a solid game. It's a really good game. Another 75% off is Darkwood. Darkwood is another kind of weird isometric horror game where you basically have to shutter yourself into a cabin and then wait out the night while all the monsters try and break in. You set traps, you board up windows, you block holes with, you barricade doors, you block holes with filing cabinets, and then if you survive the night, you go out into the weird forest and you scavenge by day, and then you kind of uncover the story of this really out there forest that you're in. Such a weird story that's going on, but it's a lot of fun. It's very creepy and it's kind of funny as well. It's got some humor in it, some very, very dark humor. I had a lot of fun playing Darkwood, and it's only $3.74 at the moment. Its base price is $15, so you can pick it up for 75% off right now. Another game that I really enjoy is Near Death. Near Death is $8 at base. It has gone for 95 cents in the past, but now you can pick it up at the moment for $1.99. I'm not sure if it will ever get back to 95 cents. Near Death is a first-person game where you walk around an Arctic station and you try to... Basically, you're just trying to get off this Arctic base, and no one's there. You're the last one there, and you have to get the snowmobile up and running and get out. It's a really good game. It's not too challenging, but it's a lot of fun to play. I felt like I was Kurt Russell in the thing, And yeah, it was good. It was good times. It was good times. I liked it. Next one, 80% off. We were talking about the Talos Principle 2 earlier. That's on a 20% discount. If you've not played the Talos Principle 1, you can pick it up for 80% off right now. It's a $40 game. It has gone for $2.99 in the past, but at the moment the 80% takes it to $4.49. Still a very, very, very good price for this game. Talos Principle 2 is challenging. It has tons of Easter eggs and secrets, and it doesn't hold your hand as much as the Talos Principle 2 does. So your choice. If you want the harder, more challenging game, I would say pick up Talos Principle 1. If you want the easier kind of version, I would say pick up Talos Principle 2. But honestly, I would play them both. They're both fantastic in their own ways. Okay, and then finally we're into the 90% range. I've got 4 games for you. Some of them, well, all of these are an absolute steal, as the 90% range should be. The first one is Prey. Prey is on a 90% sale. I'm pretty sure that's the historic low. Prey's $30 at base. It's going for $3 right now. Prey is a very, very fun game where you are on a space station and there are monsters that can basically take the shape of any object that they want to. So they could disguise themselves as a chair or a coffee cup, and it's a lot of fun. It definitely made me jump a few times. Next one is Star Wars Squadrons. Star Wars Squadrons is going for 95% off right now. It's a historic low. It's a $40 game. It's going for $2 now. So if you're a Star Wars fan and you like the kind of Rogue Squadron and the kind of TIE Fighter series from the old days, this is a much more up-to-date kind of game where you can fly both and you do missions on both sides. I'm really enjoying Squadrons. I've played it a fair amount. It's good fun. I like it. And at $2, you really don't be an Anakin. Pick it up. Another game I played this year that I had slept on for a long time was Battlefield 1. I really enjoyed Battlefield 1. I'm not talking about the multiplayer and all that. I'm talking about just playing a good styled old school kind of campaign. Certainly not like the new Call of Duty campaign, which has been memed to death about how short it is. But yeah, Battlefield 1 campaign is set in World War I, and it's a lot of fun. It's really engaging. You get to see the war from all different kinds of angles, tanks, planes, running around on foot. Great. I had a great time playing Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 is $40 at base. It's now historic low at $3.49. And then the last one, which is again an absolute steal because it's 3 games and you get 3 games for $6. This is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Mass Effect is probably one of my favorite games of all time, especially Mass Effect 2. You can now pick up the Legendary Edition at 90% off. $60 is the base price. You're going to get it for $6, and that is Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, and all the DLC for $6. Get it. Right, so there you go. That is my winter sale picks. Let me know what you got in the comments, and hopefully I kept this under half an hour, so that'll be more than 30 games in 30 minutes. But yeah, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye.